we look back to like when we were younger, and then we see like how you guys would like yell or like
Yeah, you see what I mean?
Go on.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You're not going for night vigil. You're not going to praise God. What are you sleeping over for?
Are you going,
Make it make sense.
I
What
mean,
are you sleeping over for?
I almost got into a fight or got involved in a fight during my university year.
I don't know, because the both of you don't look like
You don't look like people that will fight.
You
fight.
will run.
I love that you cannot fight.
So who fought?
Because if you are stubborn, if you, the parents, are like, no, I'm not backing down, and you now have a child that is like
Me too. I'm not
me
giving up.
too, I'm not backing down. Somebody will have to back down, otherwise there's going to be chaos.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode, a Mother's Day episode on D-Speeds Podcast. You guys already know who it is, but for those who don't know my name or who I am still, I'm Daniel Akimbinu. Daniel Akimbinu. Daniel Akimbinu. I want to say thank you so much once again for taking the time out of your day to join me on another episode of D-Speeds Podcast. And without further ado, we're going to get right into today's episode. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a special episode. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today's podcast is very, very interesting because myself and my friend Laughter over here have decided to bring our mothers on my podcast for today. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to them and have them introduce themselves, talk a little bit about themselves, and even shout out whatever social media platforms they have.
Okay, so my name is Bose Fawayimi, and I wear many hats. So I am a mother of two wonderful young men. Maybe before I became a mother, I should say I'm a wife. I'm married to Yomi Fawayimi. So what else? I am a psychotherapist. I am a marriage coach. I am also an immigration consultant. So these three things are my source of revenue. So if you need my help in any way regarding your relationship, regarding marriage or your mental health, I am your go-to person. So you can reach me on Instagram. My handle is @MarriageCoachBose. That is the easiest way to reach me. So don't tell me you're not on Instagram. You should be. So find me on Instagram and connect with me.
All right, my name is Oluwatosin Akimbinu. I am a wife, a mom, and someone that just loves life. I work as a legal counsel in Windsor. I also work with the youth, the Black youth, and minority youth. I love to be with children, be with the youth, and do every program to make sure that they have every, opportunities and rights as every other youth in Windsor. So I do work a lot with diversity and inclusion. And you can reach me through my social media handle. I really don't know what it is, but I think it's at Tosin_Akimbinu. That's it.
Okay. Now, last but not least.
Hello, I'm Laughter Fawayimi. I'm a student at University of Waterloo studying math. I'm Daniel's friend for years now, and I've been on here before. My Instagram is at laugh.fawe.
Okay, thank you guys so much once again for taking the time out of your day to join me on this special episode. Hey, I was really sitting myself down and thinking about how I was going to plan this episode because I know it will be very, very difficult considering, the change from usually having teens to now having my mother. But we'll make it work. So with that being said, we're going to jump into our first segment of the day, which is the hot take of the week. So, to my mothers here in the room, my mother figures, the hot take of the week is usually where we just go on the internet and try to find the worst or the craziest hot takes that we can just sit down and talk about, whether we agree to disagree. Since today is Mother's Day, we're going to go through a Mother's Day hot take. Now, this hot take goes as follows. I find it very annoying when my mom accuses me of doing something wrong. And when she realizes it's wrong, she doesn't apologize. Instead, she'll try to do nice things to cover it up, to make it look like it's not a big deal. For example, she promises to buy me new shoes the next day instead of saying, I'm sorry for what I did. So please, explain to us what you think about this hot take. You know, sitting down on this chair, I feel very pressured, like I have to watch what I say.
No.
Don't feel pressure.
We don't bite.
They don't bite.
Yeah, okay, so that's that situation where you guys believe that mothers don't say sorry, but they would rather go around, start offering you things. Are you hungry?
I'll make your
I
favorite food.
just made some cookies, or won't you eat? You know, those kind of things. Yeah. I think some mothers do that just because they don't want to admit verbally that I was wrong, you know.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's culture that I'm the older person here. Why should I be bringing myself down to now admit that you were right and I'm wrong? It may be culture. It may also be a gender thing, because women usually would want a man to admit, I was wrong, I told you so, you know, just something to brag about. So that can be an inhibition for a mother to now want to admit and say, you know, I am wrong or I was wrong, just because they are the authority figure for that child and they are always the one dishing out advice. They are supposed to be the wise one. So if I'm the wise one, now I now want to admit that I wasn't that wise. So maybe it's going to remove my street credit or whatever.
Your steeds.
Yeah, it will remove my steed. So I'll just chest it and say, even though, you know, and just use style. But that still doesn't make it right though. But this is just my own explanation to why people do that.
Okay.
For me, I think is part of what she said, and also upbringing, because I cannot give you, I say this a lot with you, that you are my son.
my
I cannot
days.
give
This
you
is what I was worried about.
what I
Using me
don't
as an
have.
example.
You understand? I've never seen my parents say sorry for what, you know. It's, and that's an upbringing thing. So that's what I was brought up to learn, to know that even if parents are wrong, it's not you in your position to make them feel they were wrong, or even in my position to say I was wrong. Rather, okay, I'll just brush it aside and now be nice to you. But again, I think things have evolved. I think parents now, especially in this new generation, now understand that. And aside from even the parents understanding, the children now are now more vocal, than they will let their parents know, you were wrong. I need an apology. You understand? It's been that, and for some parents think is rude, even for the children. While some feel, you know what? We're all grooming our children to be very vocal and bold, and since a child is coming up like this, I will just admit, you know, I was wrong and move. So it's part of what she said, and also upbringing. But again, as the world is evolving, I think we're all learning that no matter what position you stand in, if you're wrong, comfort to say you're wrong. So. Yeah.
Okay, now I have
So we
a
are
question.
learning from
Yes. I have a question. You brought up something that's, you know, kind of made me thought twice about this question. You said something about the way a child what did you say? The way a child speaks, like how they're more vocal. That's what you said. So as an African mother, how do you feel about your child becoming more vocal when it comes to them expressing their emotions to you?
So for me,
or their own opinions, in fact. I mean, let's even start there.
Okay, so for me, growing up, we didn't have that opportunity. In my own generation, I don't think our own parents wanted us to talk above them. It was what they said and how they said it that has to be, whether it was wrong or it was right. And I think it was also from their own upbringing. right? What they learned is what they're throwing to us, and that's how we grew up. For example, when I was bringing up my own children, I didn't always like you guys talking to me and flaunting your hands this way. To me, I felt it was rude. And it was something I also learned from my parents. So when you're talking to your parents, you put your hands behind you and keep it there until you're done, right? But now, coming abroad, one, as an immigrant, coming abroad and working in a sector where I have to see children relate with their parents, or even children relate with their teachers, and I'm wondering, isn't that rude? But understanding that it's not, because in a world like that we are here, they expect a child to be able to express themselves boldly, so that when they are going through situations, it's not difficult for a child to know how to speak or how to be able to tell of the problems they are going through. So for us now beginning to understand that, for me especially, it has made me push back a little bit and always want my child to be vocal. If I was still back where in my country, probably my children will be receiving lots of slaps. But I'm here, I'm in an environment where, I understand that, it's not wrong for a child to speak up. It's even very good, because sometimes it could be an issue you have with your teacher or your friends or somebody else, and you need a child to speak up. If the child hasn't been trained to be vocal, there could be a problem in the child telling, what the problem is. So I don't see anything bad as long as the child is not being rude about it, saying the right things, being respectful, and being vocal doesn't mean coming aggressively to your parents.
Okay, so sorry, I want to kind of continue with that, because it was another question I want to ask you, especially with, looking back and, obviously when we're young, we obviously don't see the reasons as to why our parents do what we do to us. But in a recent podcast that I had it with two other guys, and we're talking about strict parents, and one of them mentioned something about how he looked at his friend's life compared to his and made him wonder, like, wow, how different things could have been if his parents didn't treat him the way he is compared to his friend, because his friend was doing all these bad things. But looking at him is like, your parents let you do that. If my parents saw me doing that, obviously there will be issues.
So was he grateful?
No, it was definitely
grateful for his own parents.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he could understand and see the reasons as to why his parents treated him the way he was.
Okay.
I feel like it was a question coming with this. I think it was just like, what are your thoughts when it comes to those situations where you start to see, kids acting out of hand?
Okay. So like we established, it is good for children or youth to be able to stand up for themselves and be able to share their thoughts, their opinions, and not feel silenced. But how they go about it is very, very important. Because you want to be assertive or you want to express yourself does not mean you should be rude. So a parent, as parents, we want to balance that.
Yeah.
We want to raise confident children. We want our children to be confident, to be able to hold their own. At the same time, we want them to be well behaved and not feel that it's okay to be rash or to talk anyhow, or because they want to stand for themselves. So that's where you now see these parents are strict. Because if we let you be and just let you do whatever feels good to you, at the end of the day, it is us, the parent, that will never rest. I work with kids, and sometimes I see grandparents are the ones raising their grandkids because their own children, is it that they are, doing drugs, or they are not competent to raise it? So these grandparents that are supposed to be enjoying their retirement, they are still the one raising 10-year-olds. We don't want that to happen. So if putting our own feet down too and say, no, you need to be home by 10. At this your age, I need you home by 10 p.m. We will do it without any apologies. We will explain to you why we are doing it. Most of the time, you won't get it. But because you don't get it, doesn't mean that we will back down. Because we need that for you so that you will turn out right and so that we can rest in our own
peace of
village.
mind. Yes, and yeah, it's basically she said it all, to be honest, because it's not, we didn't get it when our parents were doing what they were doing, but we didn't understand. And because of the structure we were brought up, we didn't have a choice to understand. Like, we had no choices. We didn't have friends that their parents were raising them differently.
Yeah.
So if we go to somebody's house and be like, my mother said it, they'll be like, yeah, it's the same thing. That's what my mother said. We didn't have anybody to convince us and say, oh no, it's not done there. Have you been to your Miss house? It's better. No, it was the same. But you guys here have choices whereby if your parents are being strict and you go to a friend's and why is your, because I mean, I've had a couple of reasons where you tell me you want to go and spend the night in your friend, and I'll be like, no, we don't do sleepovers. Then I'll have you tell me your friend said, why don't we do sleepovers? We didn't have the opportunity. We didn't have the opportunity to have a friend that will ask us that, why did your parents, because it was the same thing in number 2, Ilesomi Street, number 3, Ilesomi Street. It was the same thing,
standard.
Same standard all through. Right? But here now, and in a world that is evolving, these are the things we see. But irrespective, it's still always very good for parents to groom their children in a way whereby we can eventually have peace of mind. I mean, I work with the legal system and I see things that happen. Children that are mostly represented are the young ones. And when you get it wrong from that foundation, it's so hard. She just said something that working with kids, that is the grandparents that are now taking care of the children when they're supposed to be resting. It's a lot of problem. It is. So being strict doesn't mean we're being mean or being wicked. We're just trying to put you in a place, in a lane whereby you yourself, you can grow and see yourself and be confident, be grateful for where you came from, and also be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate your points of view. Laughter, do you have anything you'd like to ask or add?
Yeah, I just want to add a point that even though we're not that old, but like when we look back to like when we were younger, and then we see like how you guys would like yell or like or like
Yeah, I see what I mean.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like like correct us on like what we're doing and stuff like that. It's like back then we'd be like, why can't we just like do like but then like you grow up and you're like, it's like low-key she had a point, like
Low-key.
low-key she had a point. Like maybe you shouldn't go about it the best way. Like that's a
By not
discussion for
yelling.
another day. But like the bottom line, like they had like good intentions.
I always wondered why I couldn't do sleepovers on the day.
I don't understand. That's the one thing
I was the one that I
I
never
never understood.
We don't,
understood.
when we brought up for sleepover, it just doesn't work out. What sleepover? You're not going for night vigil. You're not going to praise God. What are you sleeping over
Why
for?
are you going?
Make it make sense.
I
What
mean,
are you sleeping
the
over
people,
for?
The people you are going to their homes, we don't know who
they are.
Even
Right?
if we know those parents, we don't know if there will be other people there, and we don't know what will be happening.
Things go wrong in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You find people at
So-
the right place at the wrong time, or at the wrong place at the right time. Things happen, right?
Yeah.
And so for me to secure myself, secure you, my child, I would rather just do what I believe is best,
Yeah.
which is stay home. Why are you sleeping over?
Play with your friend
Play-
in the
play-
afternoon.
That's it. Go ride a bicycle, have fun, go
So-
to Tim Hortons,
Why
McDonald's.
should you go and sleep?
And what do you want to do sleeping over? Let it make sense.
But
What do you want to do sleeping over?
Okay, not just applying that logic to sleepovers, but like in general, when you guys have things that's like it doesn't make any sense, blah, 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 but then the kid grows up is like what's the point? Like, why can't I just do this? And then they finally grow older. They're like 18. They go off to university, and then all the things you've been like, it doesn't make sense. It's not right. But like for example, your argument doesn't have like. I don't want.
Substance.
Yeah, it doesn't have like sound like
Okay,
deep
so let me-
logic. So then the kid grows up thinking like in their head like they don't see your reason why, because you're just saying
okay.
it's wrong, but like they don't have a reason. So then the kid grows up and then goes like sleepover is like a bad example in this scenario,
Yes,
but then like
it is.
but it can
Let's
that
stick
logic
to
can be
that
applied to
sleepover.
other things, you
We're
know.
sticking to the teacher. We're sticking to
That-
the
that-
sleepover
that- that's
example.
good.
Okay, so you know that by the time that child is 18 and the child chooses to go and do sleepover, we don't have any problem because at that time you are old.
You even
You
know
can stand up
wrong
for
from right.
yourself.
Yes.
You can defend yourself in a lot of ways. If an 8-year-old says, I want to go and do sleepover, somebody is coming to raise up her cloth in the night, what can she do? She's helpless. She's young. So if you are old and you say, oh, most of the things they didn't let me do, now I can do it now. I mean, you are old now.
You can
handle it.
You can handle it.
But at that time,
Right?
if we don't have those rules, we can't protect these kids.
Very true.
And
Very
a lot
true.
can go
Very
wrong.
true. I don't just like sleepovers. You need to except you're telling me it's a night vigil, even if it's a book vigil, right? Read in the afternoon. I don't like it.
So over
It's-
that
it's
sleepover
not-
thing, we are not repenting.
No, we're not. We will not.
We stand by it. No sleepover.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on that segment. We're going to move on to another segment. Before we go into the question segment, we're going to start a new game. Not a new game. We're going to do a quick little game, kind of to ease the tension in the room.
tension.
The tension is getting worse.
African mother tension.
I'm not liking it, but let's. So this game is called Guess Who. So myself and Laughter have come up with 3 things that our parents may or may not know about us, and we're going to say them one by one, and our parents have to guess which one it is, whether it's myself or it's Laughter or it's both of us. Who
Hey,
knows?
don't give me a taco. I don't know about you. Hey.
Hey, Shabi, today we will know.
It's true, Sha.
It's okay, Sha. Anyways, we're going to get right into the game. So I'm going to go through the first.
Why is your voice down? Oh yeah, go on. Because your mother is here.
The first, we're going to go to the first one. First one goes as follows. I almost got into a fight or got involved in a fight during my university year.
Got involved during a fight. I don't know, because the both of you don't look like
You don't look
somebody
like people that will fight. So
Who is the
who
best?
is the
Ah,
best?
You have to guess.
You know,
But then you don't look like people that will get
Yeah,
in
because
trouble
you
with
will
fight.
run. You will carry your bag and run. You can't even
I
talk
love
too
that
much.
you cannot fight.
So who fought?
No, you have to guess.
It's hard. None of
It's
you
hard,
look like none of
mean, is
you
it the
look
both
like
of you?
people that can fight.
I'm telling you.
You are very
I told you this
cool.
would be quick.
You are very cool, calm,
So it's none of
easy
you.
going.
No, it has to be. It's one of us.
Oh, it has to be one of
It's
you.
one
Okay,
of
it's
us.
Daniel.
Or both of us. Is that your first guess?
Okay, laughter.
Okay, Laughter.
Yeah, Big Daniel.
Okay, it's me.
Yeah.
Hold
How
on.
did you do
Let me
it?
explain. Let me
My
explain.
chest.
No. Hold on. I didn't get into a fight, but an incident happened in school where it seemed as though I was getting into it, but the issue was coming towards me, and I was just more of like sitting there, like, what do I do?
You now run.
I didn't run. I just sat there until the person left.
Was he trying to fight you?
No, it wasn't like they were trying to fight it, but the tension was hot. Like there were so many people in the room, and the issue
But was it a
directed-
problem with you?
Yeah, it involved me.
Okay,
Involved
so
me.
somebody was now coming for you.
For
Going
you.
for me, yes.
Ha, you are
and you
small,
just
though.
sat
I
down
just sat down
Because
because
you don't know what to do.
You are not a fighter
I was
now.
Please, my number is not far. Daniel, just dial.
Mommy,
Please,
oh.
nobody should come for my son. Oh, this we don't even have to.
I don't know how to
Daniel.
fight me. I'll just sit there and watch you.
Hey.
If somebody came up to me and told me they wanted to fight me, I'll just be looking at them like,
No,
"Why?"
you press
No,
me
because
down.
I'm
Please, my
no.
number.
I'm a small boy compared to me and everybody in that school.
Please, oh, don't come for my son. Oh.
It's okay. It's all right. So we're going to go to our next one. I've been out till 4 a.m. before.
That's not Daniel.
That is laughter.
It's laughter.
It is laughter.
It's laughter. Let's give it up. It's laughter. It's laughter. Because you're even far away. I can't believe it. Daniel is right under my nose. 4 a.m. Osheleri. Did we
That's why
get
in
it?
school.
We got it.
We got it.
Okay.
like I was doing anything wrong. Just
It's okay.
just
As
saying
long as
that.
they didn't call us. Oh yeah.
Next one. I've spent $250 on my game.
$250.
Yes.
It will be Daniel.
Okay.
But game, which game?
Game. I think it's laughter.
You think it's laughter? Which game? You don't play game like that.
Okay, I just feel sorry for them now.
Yeah, but he doesn't invest in it.
And I
Let's
think
choose
it's laughter.
It doesn't have to be a video game. It could be like a game, as in like I'm going to go and watch a game in school.
No, it's not you. It's laughter.
No. Again,
Final answer.
because if laughter
This one, Daniel
really
is
likes
looking at
something,
Game as in like I
Well,
paid.
it
As in I
can-
paid for the season tickets.
season
Which
ticket.
season do you go?
Football, soccer
Arsenal,
now.
no,
Exactly,
Soccer.
exactly,
Arsenal.
soccer.
It's not. I don't believe.
Laughter
that.
can spend that amount of money for a all those musical concerts.
Let's go with laughter.
Yeah.
$250.
Yes.
Daniel doesn't. No, I know what Daniel will use
And
$250 to do.
he can use it to go and watch wrestling, WWE. Yes, he can spend that amount of money.
Okay.
So it's
So are
laughter.
we
Let's go
solidifying
with
the laughter?
laughter,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, it is laughter.
We got
So what did you
it.
spend $250?
It's like over the span of like 3 or 4 years, like life
okay.
is,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
going to
okay,
say
it's
at
not
once.
small. Yeah,
At
it's
once.
not small.
Oh.
I know you can spend money on this kind of goods.
Okay, next one. I talk to myself way more than I think I do.
You talk to yourself.
Way more than I think I do.
It's Daniel.
Why does it make it? Why?
Daniel.
I think
Why?
it's Daniel.
Yes. You talk to yourself
Yeah.
a lot.
Mind you, there's the option of that it can be both.
Can it be
It's-
both?
I
Laughter
choose
talk to-
Daniel.
I choose Daniel.
Why do you
Why?
think it's
Because
me?
even in front of the mirror, I
Wait.
feel that you're always like talking, doing, and all the content you do is also more like talking to yourself. I will choose.
Yes, I
I
choose
will
Daniel.
choose you.
Okay, yeah, it's me.
I see your videos where you are only you by
Only you
in the
do
room.
300
Yeah,
things.
you will be
I
talking.
clone myself.
You
That
clone
one.
yourself, so it's you.
It's you.
Okay, all right.
So we got it.
Yes.
Hey, gang, gang, gang,
Lots
gang.
of them right so far.
So far, yes. So far. I know the beginning
We
one.
missed
They
the
didn't get the
first one,
first
but-
one, but all right. Next one. We have 2 more. I used to be a crazy Justin Bieber fan.
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. It cannot be laughter.
I don't
Oh.
get Justin Bieber.
He's one musician like that.
What does he do?
He used to.
He plays music. He used to be very popular,
Yeah.
but he has
Justin
grown
Bieber.
old
He's
now.
grown old. Yes.
He's like 30 something now.
Is he?
Is
I
that
don't know.
old?
Wow.
30 something is old.
But
Well,
no,
older.
but he started when he was
Young,
a teenager.
really, really young. Yes.
What did he sing? Kilo Cup.
Justin Bieber.
He sang that one song, baby, baby, baby. Oh.
If it is that song, baby, baby, it's laughter.
It's me.
Okay, okay.
Because laughter used to sing that song.
Okay.
Baby,
Baby, baby, baby. Oh.
Me, body, so it cannot be Daniel.
If it's that song, I know it with laughter. I did not
So
know
let's
it
go
is
with
Justin
laughter.
Bieber's song.
Yeah, solidify with laughter.
Yes, let's go
Eh.
with laughter.
You're wrong.
It's you,
It's not-
Daniel.
Was it you?
Most of his, there are a lot of songs that's just regular
Me,
songs.
but
But he
which
also
one have I
he
heard
also
before?
has Christmas songs that I just have in my. I happen to have in my playlist.
But after you used to sing baby,
I
baby.
do not even know that.
does not recall.
How did I now know the song?
I don't know. It's popular. It's a popular
Yes.
song. No?
Ah, okay.
All right, there's another
Because I
one.
know
Is
the
it
song.
too late now to say sorry?
I don't know
that
those
one.
ones.
Okay,
But that baby, I know it. That one.
Justin Bieber. Maybe if I see his face.
Yes, it's okay. All right, so we're going to go our last one. I averaged 6 hours of screen time in a week,
Which one is
which is
screen
really
time?
low.
Like
Screen
on the
time.
phone. On the phone.
On the phone.
Average, as in every day 6
Yeah,
hours.
every
Oh, that's a lot.
That's Daniel.
Wow. Okay. Why?
Because if I'm
6
calling
hours.
you, you're coming upstairs, you're on the phone. You're talking to me, you're on the phone. You are cooking, you're on the phone. So I go with Daniel.
Oh, but you're making it look like I'm not a safe person. Please, I'm a very safe
You're
person.
saying
Safe.
you're safe.
Safe,
But
as
you're
in-
always on your phone.
You said cooking. Like obviously when I cook, I put my
6
phone down.
hours.
now.
Even when you're
Jesus.
cooking, you're looking at a recipe from the phone. So it's also screen.
Thank you.
Saying you laughed at the phone.
Laughter too use phone, but 6 hours a day, not likely.
Maybe we should say the
It's
both of them.
Daniel.
Is Daniel?
Are you,
Is that your final
are you
answer?
sticking with both of them?
Yes, I'm sticking with both
Both
of
of
them.
them. Okay, and
Okay, both of them.
that's wrong. His laughter.
Where's your own?
My own?
Give me a clue.
Yeah, please check
6 hours.
because I don't
That
know.
means that Daniel's own is more than 6 hours.
It has to be. It has to be.
It has to be more than
convinced it
6
has
6 hours is a lot, oh. Screen
That's
time.
what it is,
Screen time,
yes.
6 hours is a lot.
I don't know, man.
When
It's
you-
not even on. You don't even have it tracking. You can't even.
So
tell.
when you people are not doing businesses on the phone, what are you doing 6
hours.
hours on the
What are you
phone?
business,
Texting, scrolling,
Scrolling
Just
Snapchat,
chilling.
Instagram,
Watching
all the above, bro. All of the
TikTok.
above.
That's we need to talk about that.
No. It's only because there's no school. When it's like school,
Good,
it's
that-
over.
that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Let's believe that.
How do you have time to be doing
Because
6
it's just
hours?
24 hours in a day. And you're using 6 hours.
Even
And you
24
use
hours
it
is
hours
not
to
even
sleep.
a lot of time now. When you
Okay.
think about it, 24 hours is not even a lot of time.
It's
anymore.
not anymore. The world is confusing right now. That's 24 hours is not even, it's not enough for a day, but it's okay.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on my little game.
You're
That
welcome.
was
You
fun.
tried.
We
tried.
got to know
tried
you.
to-
And what we knew you for wasn't bad because my heart was almost, so it's good.
Okay, well, with that being said, we're going to jump into our next segment, which is the question segments. So usually with this question segment, you guys send us questions, we write them down, fold them up, put them in a hat, and we draw out the ones that are good for the podcast. But since this one is very different, I posted on my Instagram for you guys to send me questions for Mother's Day, and I got a lot of interesting questions. Some of them were very not interesting, but you know, we live and we learn. With that being said, I've gotten 3 good questions that I think will be very engaging for all of us to go through. So we're going to go to our first question. Question 1 to our dear mothers. In today's world, society is slowly shifting away from parents, mothers, who uphold a strict discipline value to taking a less active approach to making sure your child learns from what is right and what is wrong. Do you agree with these statements? And what are your thoughts about how kids are raised in this era? I feel like we answered that question in the beginning of the podcast.
So
when we talked
what's the start from the beginning again?
Okay. So in today's society or world, society is slowly shifting away from parents, but I used mothers who uphold a strict discipline value to taking a less approach to making sure your child learns from what is right and what is wrong. Now the question is, do you agree with these statements, and what are your thoughts about how kids are raised in this era?
So what I get from that is that parents are not as strict anymore. And if it is okay, what are my thoughts? Yeah, I think that with our own parents, they were strict, and sometimes they overdid some of those things, and there are a lot of damaged adults in our world, you know, that really did not get enough affection. I mean, the parents were so strict that they denied their kids then the opportunity to develop their emotional parts. And now you see some married people that they just can't connect because they don't know how to be emotional or how to connect with their spouses, and that's a problem. Now, the other end of that spectrum is, let us just be chill. Everybody, let's be chill together. Our kids, my kids they are my friends. You know, I want my kids to be my friends and all of those kind of things. We shouldn't fluctuate from one end to another end. We should strive for balance. So we don't want to be so strict that we are damaging our kids. At the same time, we do not want to be our kids' friends when they are little. Our role as parents is not the same as being their friends, because your friend is your buddy where everybody's equal, where we do fun things together and all of that. So if you are parenting a 5-year-old, that's not your position. Your position then is to parent, to instruct, give direction, guide. You are not a friend. Now, when that child becomes an adult, we can now be friends, because at that time we are reasoning together as adults. I am not instructing or giving you direction and saying this is what you must do, this is what you must do. I can't be doing that to you as an adult. But so I don't want to be so chill that I can't parent. At the same time, I don't want to be so strict that I'm damaging you. So I'm trying to look for that balance. and we should not swing to any of those extremes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I share the same opinion. I also, like she said, a lot of people have been damaged. I'm going to give examples from my own personal, upbringing. I remember that I've never had my parent tell me I love you. Never. Never. And it doesn't mean they never loved me.
Yeah, they did.
Because I saw everything that they did was geared towards me being the best. I went to one of the best schools, me and my everything. And they were one of the, in fact, most hardworking parents. And I knew that everything they were working for was for the children. So there was no question of didn't they love me or not. But again, maybe the way they were brought up, and it's reflecting on them. So I never had. So I remember when I was newly wedded, and I just got into this another world, and I didn't understand what was going on. I think I just had my first child, and things were not just balancing. And my mom knew that I needed her, but also my older brother too had a medical issue. She had to go and stay with him. I remember that night I was just alone in the room, and she had sent this powerful message, and at the end of the message, she was at the airport boarding. At the end of the message, she had written, "Know that I love you and I will always love you." Wow. That word, held, like, it took me from a 0 to a 100. Like, it made me feel valued. The word alone, not that I don't know that they, I mean, when I was getting married, my parents were crying, which means they didn't even want me to go. They knew, I knew I'm their last child, so I know how much, all my brothers know that I think I'm the most loved. So I know that they loved it, but it has never been said. Never. But the moment she said it, it took me from a different point that I had always lived to another point. And that day was a conviction for me that for all my pregnancies till I only wanted 2 children, by the way. I made it point of view that for my pregnancies to my children, I would always re-echo, I love you. I love you. I love you. So I know if my children are tired of hearing I love you, I love you, I love you. But I say it, I want them to hug and kiss me. They don't like to do that anymore because they're all grown up.
I feel like we're getting
that was something that happened to me and made me, like, it gave me back more of my confidence, my self-worth. And I said it to myself, I'm going to start saying this to my children. Not a lot of people would do, because again, how were you brought up? If I were, probably maybe my mom didn't ever send me that message, I won't be able to say I love you or learn it. And you would also agree with me that a lot of things that you all as children bring to me and expect me to be emotional, to be sensitive about, I'm not, because I wasn't brought up to understand life that way. You get, so even from you children, we're also learning. And again, in the world that we have today, it's not the same thing where we're coming from. So being strict can pose the positive, can also pose the negative. But like she said, if we're able to meet in between, we have traditions, and I say traditions, not culture, traditions where I come from. And growing up, I said to myself, I'm not going to do this, right? I remember when my parents are coming home and we were playing around, and you hear my father had a special horn, pim, 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 pim. Hey, my brothers, we literally would hide, including the video we've been watching. We will go and cover it with wet cloths so that it will feel cold. Right? They will not know that we've been watching the video. That was how bad. So growing up, I said to myself, no. And when your parents were talking, you couldn't talk. Like, we're sitting down as a family to watch TV. We will be peeping to see her. They're not going to go and sleep so that we can now come and take over. And and it's not just, again, it's not just in number 1 in Ilesomi Street. What is happening in number 1 is the same with so you can't tell your friend, my parents are, they'll be like, it's the same thing in our house. You get, so it was something that was structured in the kind of geographical environment that we were. So we grew up like that. And I made it a point of this, that when I grow up and I have my family, this is not how I want it to be. Again, not that my parents didn't love me or my brothers, but the way they were brought up was transferred to us. But I was, ready to now begin to shape it how I want my home to be. Because at the long run, it's the way I feel I bring you guys up. You'll be able to transfer to your own children as well. So we need to meet in a balance, right? It poses bad, it poses good, but let's meet, right? So that we would have a better environment for our children.
Thank you so much for your response.
You're welcome.
Question. I have a question, but before I do, Laptop, do you have anything to add? Anything you want to say?
I just want to say how I think it's interesting that if your mom actually did not send that message, like how different your whole family dynamic, the relationship with your kids, maybe even your everything in your life would be so different, and you wouldn't even have known that it could have been like
said.
It could have been different.
You're very correct. Honestly, that night made a huge transformation. When I was pregnant for my second, I would look at the Tom and I would say, I love you. I love you. It really changed a lot for me. It did.
Thank you so much, Grandma. I appreciate you. Speaking of appreciation, one question I'd like to ask, and I think would be beneficial for a lot of us youths to, be able to start doing is what are some ways we can show more appreciation, specifically more to our mothers, because obviously our mothers are the ones that carried us 9 months. You know that story.
Yes,
They're the ones that they took care of us for that 9 months before we came into the world. So what are some ways that you think that we could show more appreciation to our mothers out there?
Is it for us or for you children?
Oh, for us to show to our mothers.
So what's
So
the
the
question
youth.
for you people to show?
No,
Ask
it's-
your-
So tell
What
us.
do you want us
What do you want us to
what do you
do
want us to
more
do?
that you think they were doing less of?
Okay, me, I will tell you.
Okay.
I remember that
You're in
when
trouble.
I know it's simple. when they were younger, they would come and say, "I love you, and if they've done something wrong, I'll just be like, "See, I don't need all of these things for you to be telling me I love you. If you love me, obey my commandments." That's what Jesus said. The proof of obedience, the proof of love is obedience. So if you love me, just obey me. Trust me that I got you. And what I'm telling you to do is the right thing. So you cannot just be paying lip service that you love me when you keep breaking my heart by disobeying me. I tell you, go and do this. I don't want you to be a robot that just goes and just be obeying. But we can have a dialogue about it. So why am I asking you to go this path? This is why I'm asking you to go this path, because I've been in this world more than you. I can see. So obey. Don't be rebellious. Don't just say that, no, I'm going to do my own thing. You cannot tell me what to do. If you do that, you break the heart of your parents. When you make wrong choices, you break our hearts. So how do you really show us you love us? How do you really make us happy? Just please turn out right. Just turn out right. That's all. Once you are making right choices, you are not hanging with the wrong company, you are having a career, you are developing yourself. We know that we have raised a successful adult. That is the best gift you can give to us. So forget, you're going to wrap one gift for us, or you're going to... We want all of those things. We do. But please, the best gift you will give to us is just turn out right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's true. She said it all. Just turn out right. And from turning out right just goes to show that everything we've invested in you, morals, emotions, mentally, you were able to capture it and use it to develop yourself, right? Because if you turn out right, you don't have to. I always tell my children this: don't always feel inadequate. Right? You're complete. You're enough for me. Knowing that you're my child is already enough for me. You don't have to prove anything. But as long as everything we've invested in you use it to train yourself, to groom yourself, right? I'm going through one issue now with one of my sons because he's not even listening to me. And I hope with this medium, he will be able to listen to me. And because I really need to listen to me and to understand that everything I'm telling you is from a point of view that I have walked myself. I've been here in this world way before you. I have never done crime. I have never gotten in trouble. I have never gotten as little as a ticket. I have never had a police come and knock on my door for troubles. So I have walked the path that most parents have walked, and we know it's the right path. And so if I'm telling you that don't do these things, because it may not be you that would do it, but this person you're with might be the one to lead you, because we've seen, we know, we understand. Parents are first psychologists. That's their first job. They can see. They can read you. So when they are telling you, don't do this, it's not just for me, but for you. For you to have a peace of mind, for you to have a great, relationships, growing up, financially steady, stable, and all that. So in fact, the major thing is just listen to us. Listen, because we know what we see, even before we see it.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to not to confuse you, that you should please listen to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To summarize, listen and
listen.
And listen and obey.
obey.
And
Listen
obey.
and obey.
Turn
Very
out
simple.
right. Just
Listen and obey. Guys, it's not that hard.
it's not that
I
hard.
just say it's not that easy.
It's not. It is. It's very easy. In our days,
No.
you guys are dialoguing with us. We couldn't. It's what they say. And if you don't, there are repercussions waiting for you. Waiting, Abi.
But now you guys have too many choices. That's why you are
many
debating whether you
choices.
want to obey or not.
Too many.
Eh?
Too many.
It's good that you have autonomy. You can choose. But we are appealing that please choose right. Just obey.
I understand. And I hope everybody watching as well also understands.
Please understand.
Laughter, do you understand? I understand. Okay. If you have anything to add, if you don't,
I was gonna ask so basically you said before we started recording that you're seen as like the strict mom, right? I was gonna say like, kids don't understand why parents are the way they are until they're much older and like they start to actually think about like why their parents did whatever, right? So it's like, how is it, would you say, like frustrating or difficult it is like when kids are like 8 or like 12 and you're trying to like teach them and show them like the proper ways to do things and like they just don't see it at all? It's like, is that like the most frustrating part of parenting? Is that like how do you navigate that part?
So for me, my own was very different. Like I said, I only wanted 2 children. So I had one, and less than another 10 months, another one came. So what I tried to do was invest in my first child. That was one thing I did. I invested so much in discipline. I invested so much in a lot, believing that the second would take after. And God so good. The second 2 was doing follow. Anything the first does, he does. So it was quite easy for me to handle just one, because I had them like they were more like twins growing up. So, but it was easy. I could handle one. So when I was able to put my grip on one and held it down, the second had no choice but to listen. Yeah. Now, God, somehow gave me a child that the first that wasn't trouble. I must say. If I say sit down, he never questioned. It was very, very calm, no issues. And so I didn't have a situation where I was frustrated. So bringing the second one, it was also very calm because it was taken after the brother. Now, raising the third was where the problem was. Stand things, they teach you things. I had to learn and come down to his own reasoning. So it was frustrating because I got a lot of issues, even with the schools during that time. But I have seen myself as, okay, my son has a problem. Am I going to give up? No. I had to come down to his level, and I invested my time and everything I had in making sure that those years of development now is more developed, even though we still have the issues of don't go here, why? But now we understand that, okay, I'm not supposed to ask why too much, right? Because he's grown into it. But at that time, it was difficult. But I invested and real investment, not joking investment. Investment goes into as little as we used to put signs in the house. Oh yeah, read before you go out. When you come back, you read the signs. You explain. A lot of things went into it just because, I just wanted him to get on track and not get myself frustrated.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't just continue. Miss Farah.
I think that in my own experience, what was a major frustration for me was the personality of my older child. You see, for him, he and his brother, they are different. And because when you are raising kids that are different, you need different strategy to raise them. So you don't raise child number one exactly the way you raise child number two. They are different people. So for my first child, I thank God I didn't raise him in this country. Otherwise, they probably would have sent me somewhere because I will take my slippers. I will beat him. And no matter how much I was beating him, he was like, Sabi will beat me,
That's all.
So
this was a child that was very assertive and was very inquisitive, curious, just want to explore and all of that. And this instruction of sit down there, you don't go out until I say so. You have to come back until when I say so. It wasn't working. It was a lot of frustration. So we had to learn as his parents. We read books. We got some books how to raise boys, how to do this. We were reading that. God have mercy. Is it our own child that we be like this? So the personality of the child you are dealing with may be a source of frustration for you. And another thing is, if you, the mom, you have the same personality with that child, there will be a lot of clash. Because if you are stubborn, if you, the parents, are like, no, I'm not backing down, and you now have a child that is like
Me too, I'm not giving up.
Me too, I'm not backing down. Somebody will have to back down, otherwise there's going to be chaos. So as parents, we get frustrated depending on a lot of things. And I think that's just part of the parenting journey, because we too did not get a manual to read to say this is how you will parent your children or whatever. So we were learning trial and error, and the firstborn child is the one that
You learn
we
Has to
will
suffer
learn
the
with.
most. That's one I
We will do the
That's one that has to
experiment.
suffer the most. You need
Yes,
to emphasize
sorry.
that.
Yes.
Eh?
Apologies.
So we will
Apologies.
try
We're ready
with
for
you. We will
mistake.
try with you. So by the time the second, the third comes, we kind of like have a hang of this thing called parenting. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but at least we have ideas. So most firstborn out there, we want to apologize.
I accept the
Please
apology.
forgive us. You were our guinea pigs, We did a lot of experiments with you. Some of them we got right.
Yeah.
Some we failed woefully. So please, forgive us.
And there's also no wrong or right way to parent, right? Everything was just trial and error. Nobody sits you down to say, we see people say when you're going to your husband's house, you do this, you do that, but nobody actually sits you down to say when you have your child, when it starts crawling, when it's 5 years old, nobody asks. So we don't have the real manual. Everything is just right or wrong. So what works for me may not work for you, right? But as long as you get it right and you are proud of however the child grows, that's fine.
Oh, thank you so much once again for answering that question. I think, from a firstborn point of view, that apology really made me feel
better,
relieved. Because I suffered.
Sorry.
I suffered.
But you didn't suffer. You were trained.
I was sorry. Yes, that's the word.
Because at 8 years old, you were washing the dishes on top of a stool. At 10 years old, you were taking your brother's bath for him. Yes. But you were trained. Now you're a man. You're a full man. You cook, you do everything.
Yes.
That's it.
Responsible man.
Responsible
Thank
man.
you.
The woman that will marry you,
Wait,
fortunate.
hold on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's stay here. We're going to go to our next question. Question 2.
3, actually.
No, that's what's not a question. That was question 1.
Okay.
Question 2. From a mother's point of view, what is something that disappoints parents the most? That was a deep one. That was a deep
That
one.
disappoints.
Yes.
For me, I think I'll just say the feeling, the child, how the child feels inadequate. I'm not enough. Really disappoints me a lot. Especially when I know that I've groomed you, invested in you, and still you feel I'm not enough. I'm not confident enough, it's very disappointing for me, because that goes a long way for me. You're not able to stand up for yourself. You probably get bullied. You're not able to do things on your own. It really, really disappoints me, So that's one. In fact, I think that's the major thing. And that's why I always ring it to all my children that you are enough. Nobody defines you. Nobody tells you who you are. You are complete, and even my son that likes to spend, a lot of time in the washroom. I don't know whether he wants to be white, but I keep telling him you are black, and black you shall be. You're beautiful, you're bold, you're black.
And you use hot water and shower
no one defines you, So I think it's the inadequacy that I really get disappointed in, in children, in youth, or my children, basically.
Yeah, so for me, if a child feels that by that child not imbibing the values of the family, that now makes them to be unloved or to be an outcast, that's disappointing, because as parents, we love our kids. See, the fact that we carry that child, before that child was born, we loved that child. A woman, once she's, they say you are 4 weeks pregnant, or how many weeks pregnant. As far as that woman is concerned, this is a child, my child. And you are so protective of that child. You have not met that child. So the love you have for that child is not because of the child's doing. So it's not because, the child is scoring A's. That's why I love the child. You love that child just by, this is my own conception. This is my person. So when your children can't get that they are loved unconditionally, fine, we want you to come out right. We want you, maybe that one is our selfish intention, so that you will have peace of mind there. But we love you. Don't confuse us saying, don't behave this way, don't behave this way, to now say it's because we don't love you. We love you unconditionally. So when our kids don't understand this and they think that we will love them more or less based on their doings, no, we love you for your being, not because of your doing,
of your achievements or whatever.
Yeah. So get that. If you don't get it, it's very annoying and frustrating. That how else can we let this child know that you are loved?
Yeah.
I understand.
You get it?
Yes, I understand. So, I mean, this is kind of leading to the next question. You mentioned something about being inadequate.
Inadequate.
I think feeling like you're not enough. Now, I've had a lot of people, this was a frequent question that was given to me. And the question is, as a parent, what is your advice for youths like really looking to seek like validation from other youths, trying to be their friends, even trying to start a relationship? What is your advice to them? Because I feel like in this day of age, obviously I think that we're leaning towards a more selfish society as youths. We're trying so hard not to think of other people or seek validation from people, but obviously there's that sense of belonging or knowing that you fit in that comes with it, and obviously wanting to look for it gives us this sort of high. I don't know if that's a good example, but what's your advice to us youths when it comes to just trying to look for friendships or relationships, or what's have you?
Okay, so for me, I'll start with I have a friend. We were texting one time and she was talking to her son, and then it got to a point where they were like, she was like shouting and all that. Take it easy. What happened? They should not telling me that she took him to the store to pick up one of your Nike shoes and all that. And then when he was trying it on, trying to see if he wanted this or that, he now took a picture and sent it to his friend for his friend to say whether this
to verify
one
if it's.
So she was not like, and I just smiled. And I said to myself, I would never buy that child any shoe in my life. If I was your parents, I will never, ever. I think the first thing for you is to be full of yourself. I say this a lot. I'm not somebody with so many friends because I have a very safe garden. So I don't need friends here, friends there. I don't need your validation. I don't need your verification. I don't need to validate what I want to do as long as it's the right thing. And for youths or children, I think the pressure comes a lot from what you see on social media. That's one problem we have for youth. What you see on social media. And because you've seen it, we as your parents, we're not the social media people. So we don't understand what's going on there. So you need to go and meet another social media person to validate if what you're doing is actually the best or the right thing for you to proceed. Why don't you look into yourself and first feel confident with what you are or who you are? I say this to all my children. When you wake up and you look in the mirror and see yourself, what do you see? A full-blown child with everything God has given you. Why do I need to put on a red lipstick? Then call Miss Fawemi. Hey, Womio.
Oh yeah, suck paper.
No, I should be confident, comfortable with what I am, with how I look before you. If you're not comfortable, it's easy for laughter to tell you that, oh, you don't look good, or oh, there's something wrong with your shirt, and that just kicks you away because in the first place, you were not comfortable with yourself. But if you're comfortable and someone comes and say, I've had people say, oh my God, you smell so nice. And I say, oh yeah, as always. Right? Or you look so good all the time. Because I am confident with myself. I remember we're doing onboarding for a new team. And we're talking about, dress code and what have you. And I was like, I don't like going to places where I have to peep before I enter. I don't even like opening small doors. I like to just open it. And everybody turns and sees who is coming in. And that's because I'm overconfident in myself. I don't need anybody to validate me. And understand that even in this world of validation, not everybody is going to like you. So what about if you're going to meet someone that doesn't even like you in the first place to validate you? Will they ever validate you? You're going to keep singing. And this is how depression that leads into suicide comes in. Right? You're looking for validation. You don't feel enough with yourself. And you're going around and asking friends. No, you don't need it. The first thing with yourself is to be confident with yourself. You don't need, because not all friends are even going to tell you the right things. That's my take.
Okay.
Thank you. Mrs. Fawemi, do you have anything else?
So I am going to take this from the psychology perspective.
Okay.
So, in stages of development, when the child is young, let's say from ages 0 to like 13, that's where the parents wield the most influence on that child. By the time they are teenagers up until early adulthood, it is the peers that wield the influence.
Okay.
So we teach parents that do a lot of work when those kids are really kids, because as they get to certain age, the person that will be influencing them a lot will no longer be you.
Okay.
It's gonna be the peers and the society, because at that time they are more attuned to what they hear there. So how do we help these kids so that they don't keep hearing the wrong thing that will drive them into depression, drive them into suicide? Is to let these kids even be aware that, see, this is what is happening to you. That when you are at this age, you are more prone to be hearing that. But that doesn't mean that what you are hearing is the right thing. So that when that child knows, the child is 16, the child knows that I am more likely to want to choose what my friends are doing or are saying. But now there's still the voice at home that is still saying, this is the way. So that child knows that although this looks attractive, but I would rather choose right. But if the child doesn't know that that's what is happening to them, they're just going to keep leaning towards their friends and say, should I wear this shoe? Should I cut my hair? Should I use earring? You know, so it's really stressful for kids these days because there are so many voices out there saying the things opposite to that of wisdom. But we as parents will need to keep speaking and let these kids also know that this is what is happening to them. That is one. The other thing is that for young people, that desire for acceptance, acceptance with their peers is really strong. For us as adults, when we are so made here now, we like, I don't need anybody's validation. I don't care. But for that 16-year-old, that is still not very sure of themselves, and they spend a lot of time with this their peer, and on social media that is 6 hours screen time. 6 hours screen time. That's where they are living. So they are so enmeshed in it. So it's so hard for them not to seek that validation. So those are the things. But we will just need to keep telling them that, see, you are complete. You are enough. We love you the way you are. You are going places. You may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you are our own cup of tea. And we love you like that. So when we keep affirming them, then they know that even though I still want my friends to accept me, but if my friends don't accept me, okay, it's okay. At least I have the people at home. I still have my own people. But feeling like I don't belong anywhere because at home, all they do is scold you, tell you are not enough. Why is your grade like this? Why are you not dressed like this? Then outside, they are not accepting you. You will really want to fit in there, that at least let me belong somewhere. So let's help our kids to feel like they belong at home, so that even if it looks like the outside people are not really accepting them, they are good. They have their own
they
plan.
have to understand that they are enough. It's really important.
Okay. Thank you so much for your
You're
thoughts
so
and
welcome.
inputs. Laughter. Do you have anything you want to say? Anything you want to add?
I think the issue definitely arises when kids don't feel like they're accepted at home, or like they're not already wanted at home, because then they keep like jumping, looking for different things that are like, oh, maybe these people, oh no, maybe these people. And that's why like a lot of people like in high school, like you'll see people like doing things, just like doing crazy things.
So
Or like
because they
someone
don't
is-
feel,
someone
I
is-
think
like-
some children just, like she said, there are stages growing up. And when you get to that stage, your peers have more stronger hands. So irrespective of whether you're being loved at home or not, because we've had situations that is even those that are most loved at home that are given the best cars, that they make it, the quote is the rich man's children that actually go out and mess up. So are you telling me that the rich men that are home, that are giving you the best of the best, they make you feel you're loved in the house, why are you still going out to mess up? Why are you still going out because your friend said, hey, let's go get some wrong things, and you go with them, right? So I'm not saying you're wrong, but what about those that are still very, very much loved at home and they still go out to seek validation? What do we say about those?
So because the parents are providing them everything doesn't mean that they will feel, this is feel loved.
So how would they feel loved? Maybe that's my question now.
So as for us as parents, we need to feel their love tank. So every one of us, we have love tank, and there are things that fills it. So for some people, it's you spending time with them. So for some, it's you buying them the gift. For some, it's you cuddling them or calling them endearing name, using words that build them up. So if that child needs words to build him up, to make him feel like, yeah, I think I'm good. But instead of that, you are buying the child gifts. You are really speaking love, that, see, I love you.
But it's not
But
language.
the child is like, So it's a perception of love. So we need to help our kids to actually feel that they are loved. So if they feel it, then that's when it means something to them. That, yeah, I am really loved. So that's our job to do, so that we don't just keep throwing some things to them that really, they will take it all, but that's not really what they need. Yeah.
Definitely, I 100% agree with you, and I hear where you're coming from. I also, think that at some point, it's it can't just be the parents. At some points, it's the youths themselves. You can't tell me that your mother, you're obviously saying your mother, everything your mother is trying to do for you, and the least you could do is obey and listen. Come on. I feel like youths have gotten to the points where you can't tell me you don't know what you're doing. You are obviously doing what is wrong intentionally to, well, there's no reason for it. You're just doing it just because. Maybe there is a reason for it, but the reason is not as valid as you think it is compared to what your mom or your parents is trying to do for you. So I feel like, it goes both ways. The parents, obviously, they have their parts, but again, the youths, it gets to a point where, you should really sit down and think, okay, what is it that my parents are telling me that I'm doing wrong? And what can I do to do better? Not just for, in some cases, not just for the satisfaction of them, but for the benefit of yourself as well. So I 100% hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, thank
Talk
you,
to
Daniel.
them.
Talk to
And then
youth leader.
to the youth, so let's put this out. If you are having a very conflictual relationship with your parents, there may be several factors responsible for that is beyond you. Maybe some things happening within you that just makes you very rebellious or anti-obedience. Like you just want to do, if they
You're
say
wrong.
if they say go this way, you just say
just wanna go the other
okay,
way.
this is the way I will go to. So if you find out that that's happening to you, then you should seek help, so that when you talk to a professional, they can actually help you see how your brain is processing things that is making you to be defiant. So because there is a disorder that can make a child just be defiant. And those are the children that go up to have conduct disorder, and they will go to jail because they won't obey any authority. So if you are seeing that in you, then seek help.
Definitely. Again, I 100% agree with you guys. After, is there anything you'd like to add? If not, we can move on to our last segment. Okay. All right. So that being said, we're going to move on to our last segments of this podcast, which is the guest open floor segments, where I have my guests talk about anything they would like to talk about. Laughter, Miss Faremi, and my mom, Miss Akimbinu. So if there's anything you'd like to talk about, the floor is yours.
I think you should go first because you are the youth. You will be able to enter.
Anything I want to talk about.
Anything.
Yes.
Why is there so much pressure when we get to 18, 19, 20 to be finding girlfriend and boyfriend?
Yeah.
But back then, it was no girlfriend, no boyfriend. Mothers, please
Me,
explain.
I just feel that at that age is a good time to explore. When you are younger, you don't know what you are doing. You're just being silly.
Hey,
But when you're 18, 19, it's a good time to explore. And when we say boyfriend, girlfriend, we don't really mean intimate relationship. We just mean a friend that, is a girl, a friend that is a boy. People can see you with them. You can go to prom together. And then you begin to understand your goals and visions. Do they align? Is it the same? I mean, 18 is not too young. You'd already be in university, and meet somebody probably of your spec. I mean, and you're just shopping around anyway at that time. So, but younger, come on, what are you using them for? What's your business in school? Remind me, what is your business in school, Daniel? The book and the board.
look at the board.
That's it. So go to school,
Remember.
read the book and the board. But when you get to this stage, you're already an adult, So for me, that's just, so it's not pressure as such. I just want to believe that you're able to have a friend, invite the friend over, let's meet this person, and then it even gives you more confidence because you're an adult, you're 18, you can talk to someone, you can actually have a genuine relationship, other than when you're much younger. That's a very silly relationship that you don't even know what you are doing. So that's me.
Okay. So when you are younger and or even at 18, 19, 20, don't see it as pressure if we are asking that how far now. It's not pressure. It's just for me, I say it so that you can have that in your consciousness, so that you can know that, okay, maybe this is a thing, because in today's world, I've seen young people that will just say relationship, it's not for me. I mean, like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. that's gonna break my own heart, you know.
seriously.
So I don't want to have a child that's gonna say, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have children, so I see that play out in today's world. So I kind of would tease my own children that oh yeah, now where is the person
teasing
now?
Yeah,
You
bring
know,
that home.
You bring her home. So it's not pressure, please. We are not saying go and do it. You see, from the psychology perspective, your brain, is not fully developed until you are like 22, 23. So if you still have a growing brain, I may not trust you so much to make a choice of a life partner yet. That are you that mature, you know? So I'm not even expecting you to have somebody that you want to say this is the person. So if we throw it out there, it's so that you can just kind of consider it. So no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Laughter, do you have any topic, anything you want to talk about?
I'll say while we're on the topic of relationships, you have relationship advice.
Oh, yes, that's
for,
true,
you know,
that's true.
Young
Do you have
people
any-
out there that, they're not getting pressure from their parents,
But they're interested in seeking that
This is a
relationship.
relationship coach.
Oh,
Marriage
what
counselor.
is the
What
relationship
kind of
advice?
Just
in
maybe okay.
general,
When you
who to look for, where to find them.
how do you approach them? For the guys, how do you approach a girl, and for the girls, why don't they approach guys?
Okay. Why won't the girls approach guys? So girls can approach guys for friendship, because what we are talking about is just friendship. You can walk up to your classmate or somebody in your school and say, "Hi, I'm Daniel. Can I meet you? Oh, I'm in this department, blah, 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 blah." You meet the person. And if you guys can strike up a conversation, then the friendship from just saying, hi, it can be, oh, can we go grab coffee? You know, it's informal. It's friendship you are looking for. Before you start to look for a relationship, look for friendship. So if you are good making friends, then stepping up into relationship shouldn't be hard. So don't put yourself under the pressure of, if it is relationship, how will I say it right? Just go and be that person's friend, you know? So friendship.
Can I say something? I agree that it should start from friendship. However, in our generation, it doesn't seem as though that is ever the right approach to taking it. I will give from not my experience, but somebody that I have spoke to. I don't want my mother to be no thank you. But however, I had a friend who was interested in this individual. I said, "Oh, okay, cool, go and be their friend, get to know them, using the same advice that my mother gave to me. Get to know them as a friend, see where things go, even see if you guys are even compatible." That was what I said to him. He said, "Okay, cool." About a month later, I didn't hear from him. I sent him a text. I'm like, "Hey, guy, how are you doing? How is everything?" He said, "Everything is fine." I said, "How is the babe that you're trying to talk to?" He said, "Oh, never mind. I don't want to do that one." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, from his perspective, I think that she was only thinking that I only wanted to be her friend, when truthfully that is not the case." And I said, "Okay, why couldn't you voice that out to her?" And he said he did, but all she could ever see was just friendship vibes, and that was not what he wanted. Although the thought of just starting out as friends so that you can get to know the person was a good approach. It was a great idea to that approach. The end goal wasn't to just be friends. It was obviously in his perspective to start building that relationship with this person.
And the person is not interested in a relationship.
In a relationship, yes.
And that person has a choice. So good. You leave the person and go somewhere else.
That's so
And I even
blunt.
think
I get to marry time.
No, now see, that lady, you are interested in someone. The person is not interested in you. It takes two. So as you have a choice, that person too has a
also
choice.
has a choice.
And it's not personal. It's not that you're not good enough. It's just that, this is not the person I want. You won't be everybody's cup of tea.
You
Know
can't
that.
be everybody's choices.
Yes.
Then again, I feel that one should understand your mental intention, your state of mind? Because a lot of you are going into a kind of relationship or friendship or commitment as relationship first. Be friends, right? Be friends, because that way you're even developing yourself. Because when you're in a relationship, you're very careful of yourselves.
So much pressure.
You're careful. I cannot fart in front of her. Right?
Okay.
I cannot. My mouth cannot be dry.
And
I
the
cannot.
person that
And you want to go
expects you
and
to
see
be-
her. You will probably do this. You do this.
And
You're already related. Be in a friendship. Be able to push yourself around, because those are the kind of relationship that nurtures into marriage.
last
Yeah,
and
that lasts
stays.
long.
Because in marriage, love actually dies. To be honest, I mean, my opinion, I don't know from but what keeps you is the friendship. The naughty part you've always had, the push you and push me part you've always had, and that nurtures your love. You understand? So if you're just going in with the aim of, she's the one I want to marry, quick, you want to start a relationship, you'll be very careful. You won't even be able to get to know her. I've seen people that, I'm dating you. Every time you've met her with makeup. Every day, because she's coming to see the person she's dating. So she's always dressed. She's always glamorously looking so good. And then you get to spend one day without her having makeup or looking at her, hey, is this the person I toasted? Hey,
Catfish.
am I not, did I not make a mistake? But be friends where you knock at her door early morning, she's not looking, hey, what are you doing there? Oh yeah, come on, let's just go for a walk. Understand yourselves. Maybe she's even in another relationship as you were in this friendship. Mm-hmm. And the relationship not even right for her. She'll be able to tell you things. Then you'll be able to pick, she doesn't like things like this. She doesn't. Then you grow into a relationship. Don't enter as a relationship, because then you're going to be extremely careful. You won't even be able to flourish. A new child will not get up the next day and start walking. It takes steps. So the pressure actually comes from you guys. I want to be in a relationship. Don't be. Just have a friend. Be and have a couple. There are times you all, when you're doing this, your night out together, be there in a group of friendship environment. You are still studying this friend. How does she relate? How does she talk? How is she? But when you're already in a relationship, you come in as couples, you're careful. Normally, maybe she's not even your type, but she likes laughter. But because she's already with you, she's now being, let her be free.
Yeah.
Because that friendship may not necessarily lead to whatever.
Yeah.
But then you've built a very great friend. You get. So.
Thank you so much
Good advice.
for that advice. Honestly, I feel like a lot of us really needed to hear that from, again, a mother's perspective, because I don't think we really understand, how the whole relationship thing works in the first place. Obviously, like you said, we see it on social media and think, okay, this is how
God,
it's supposed
why
to
me?
work.
Now,
And
no. How did they say that prayer?
God
when.
God when. So I just, again, your advice is very, very useful. I hope a lot of us out there who are listening use that advice. Just start off as close friends.
Just friends.
Just start off as friends, actually. Start off as friends. Start off as friends. I'm trying to word it right.
See where it goes.
It's not even see where it goes, but start off as friends and let it be as so.
If you're
because
friends, it doesn't need to go anywhere, because you'll just be friends, right? It doesn't need, because you're not planning, you're not seeing ahead. Some people stay as friends till 4 years of school, because in the first place, even
you're not even ready to
school
marry
should be taking
anything.
all your brain.
brain.
And that's why a lot of your friends, when I'm hearing you, my girlfriend, I'm like, how do you even
have time for all those kind of things?
How do you have time? How do you balance schoolwork with my girlfriend? She's cheating on me. I went to see. How do you, even emotionally, your breakups and all?
Yeah.
It takes everything that you're supposed to give into your education. So how do you balance? But when you're just friends and you've not seen yourself for 3 days,
See,
when you meet on the fourth day, you pick up from where you left.
He's not
because
sending
there's
me
no
text.
pressure.
He's not checking on me.
He's not picking up my
You
phone.
don't have
He
work.
didn't call me
Hey,
this
don't you have
morning.
anything to do?
He's not calling me. If the person is your friend, the person will not be having all those expectations. You're just friends.
Exactly. You've now built expectations because of the relationship. Then some of them even build the one that you have to be, when we go out for
You will
Tim
pay.
Hortons, you will pay. How?
Which kind of thing?
What are you paying for? What are you paying for? How did you get here? You are coming to Tim Hortons. If you know you didn't have the money, why did you follow me?
Why you want to punch me?
You understand? Because of the pressure you guys already developed in yourself. Oh, it's my girlfriend. I have to. Okay, we're going for a dinner date. You will buy her dinner dress. Why? Are you working? From the money your parents gave you. Why are you putting yourself in so much? So just be friends.
Yeah.
And
enjoy your friendship.
Enjoy that
Have
moment.
friends. This one friend. This one. Everybody is just friends.
Enjoy
and
that
finish
moment.
your school.
Finish school.
When you are done, your brain has fully matured. You can now be saying, okay, which friend now looks more like it, you know? But not when you are in school. It's too much pressure. You don't need it.
I hope everybody is listening, you know. Because I don't know when next we get advice like this on the internet. But thank you so much once again for taking the time out of the day to really just come and talk to myself, Laughter, and even everybody who is watching, just how to live a good life. Because the advice you gave us, it doesn't just stick to parental relationship, or you know, it's about life in general. What you need to do, what you can do to live a good life. And again, I appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day. Before you leave, once again, please shout yourself out to everybody else. Let them know where to follow you if they're seeking more advice, if they want to
She's
talk
the
to
parents counselor and the child psychologist.
Yes, so yes,
reach out
so
to her.
so parents, if you're having problems with your kids, you need some help on how to, do this parenting thing, speak with me. If you are a young person, you are struggling whether with relationship with parents or peers, or your mental health, you're having anxiety, whatever it is, speak with me. And for couples, your marriage, I can sit with you, hear you out, and give you tips on how you can make things work. So follow me on Instagram at Marriage Coach Bose. I think, that's all.
So for me, for youths that are well behaved,
Hey, why do you keep watching this guy?
well behaved. Immigrants just coming to Canada, reach out to me. I deal with criminal issues, but I don't want you to get in trouble. So try not to get in trouble. But if you, peradventure, get into trouble, reach out to me. And also maybe job opportunities, entrepreneurship, reach out to me. We're here to help. You can reach me at my Instagram at Tosi_Akimbinu, and we'll see how we can help you.
Mr. Fahimi.
I don't have advice to give, but I don't know. If you want to talk to me, my Instagram is at laugh.fawe.
Okay, thank you guys so much once again for tuning into another episode of The Speeds Podcast. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
No, I can't be no. Daniel, I can't be new. Daniel, I can't be